Welcome to a brand new wave, drowning out the noise that's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn of day. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're unpanned. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Wednesday on a Legacy Ride.
It is Wednesday. It is very different. It is very different. Welcome in Wednesday, another wacky Wednesday with the Legacy Right, where we give you a little piece of what might be negative, and then Greg hides like he is right now, and then we give you a silver lining. So welcome to Silver Linings, the Legacy Right, episode 7. We have on Satoshi Sean. How are you doing, my brother?
Doing all right. Nice to be here hanging out with y'all.
Glad to hear, man.
Cool. Glad to hear.
Likewise, we've been wanting to do it for a while.
Yeah, long intro. It was 3 minutes.
We like our long intro song, man. It's I highly recommend everybody butt dance while the song's playing to the rhythm, because it actually kind of gets you in the mood.
Sounds like from some song from the 80s. Oh, you remember that Prince song, Bat Dance? From
Oh, yeah.
Batman? Yeah, that was a good song. Was that Vinny from PBD Podcast that was on your show? Or just another well-groomed, swarthy guy?
Oh, are you referring to? Yeah, are you referring to? Shoot, I can't think of his name. Andrew.
I wrote the book. You talk the very first guy.
Yeah.
No, it was a couple guys in. Light beard, slick back hair. But you would know.
That might have been Avio. I forget.
I was like, is that anyway?
I don't know what Vinny looks like, so I couldn't give you a 100%.
I couldn't.
You can type in PBD Vinny, and you'll see him.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know.
There's Patrick Bet David, and there's just 2 other guys, and then the guy with glasses guy,
the guy with glasses guy, smart guy, kind of boring.
Yeah.
Then you got Vinny.
A lot of product in his hair.
A myopic cut in his field of view. Perfect.
Yeah, Vinny has way too much product in his hand here.
They
Then
all,
you got the other dude.
yeah, they're all product guys. They probably sell some hair stuff. If not, I'm sure they will.
I'm
So-
looking. I
I
don't
stick
see.
to the classics
I don't think
myself.
we've
I'm
had-
more of a Brill Cream guy, you know.
Mm.
Anything to
Well-
make my hair look thicker.
Anything,
Yeah, well,
anything.
you know, it's
So
working.
Patrick
Right.
bet David. I mean, bring Andrew on. It might give him some hair.
Well, you know, the key is you got to apply it to the top rather than just the front.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Speaking of
One those
applying,
Lysander Scooter beards.
yeah. Speaking of applying to the top rather than everywhere else, Dubby. Why don't you go get yourself some Dubby? It's scrolling down at the bottom. Get yourself some Dubby, 10% off any order that you want to get. Don't use the straw for your nose. Only use it for the Dubby. But go get yourself some Dubby. There are all sorts of different flavors that you can try. One of which, my favorite, takes me back to when I was a kid. Rainbow sherbet. Go try it. So
That's
want
awesome.
do you want the caffeine without the crash? That's a little bit healthier and not coffee or Santanic Monster. Go try yourself some Dubby at w.dg for 10% off. So with that, what would you like to talk about there, Sean? What's going on
What
in
is
the
it,
world
Kyle?
today?
There's a lot
It's
going on in the
Wednesday.
world today. There's so much that's going on in the world. The Epstein thing, I think, is like I was telling you guys. I think, and if you don't watch us, check out me and Light Quinn Lisa on Truth Tuesdays. The show yesterday, I said that I think we're at a crossroads now, just for our like humanity and the world. It's another realization I've come to with Rubio going all over the place. Everything that Trump's been doing. We are Rome. We're the leaders of the world, and we're kind of saying that now. We're telling Europe and NATO, NATO's not real. It's just America, and we let you guys play. We're the ones playing the video game. We just give you guys controllers, and they're not hooked up, so you feel good. It's I think it's all
Exactly. They're unplugged controllers.
yeah. It's coming out. But Rubio said something that hit me like a ton of bricks. He said, no pun intended on the bricks thing, but he said, when did colonial become a bad name? When did colonizers become wrong? He's like, we changed the world and bettered the world with our colonization, with our missionaries and our, so on and so on. We built roads. We did this. We did that. We brought civilization. And that to me was shocking because it's such a, literally, it's like there's your racist and then it's colonizers, like the next one down. Where people cower right away and be like, no, I'm not. I'm friends with lots of black people. I don't like colonization, and for us to kind of admit that or come out and say that. And I've also saw a lot of like AI and kind of things you can't really, or it's difficult to get to lie. They're like, this is a point in time that really reminds them of like the 1400s. When the world is at a shift, and we're at, anyway, my point is we're at this point, and Lisa and all the people that say trust the plan and think about friends of mine that say that, it's like, but look at everything that's being exposed, and we're finding out this and that it's coming to light, and then you've got the people on the other side that are like, yeah, but nothing's happening, no one's getting punished, no one's this is just more of bread and circus, to use another Roman, saying. But I think we're at the point now where it can't get any worse. The stuff that's come out in the files is so heinous that it's not like anything else can be, air quotes, exposed. Nothing else could shock you. It's like either you tear it down now because this is happening and these people are in control and in power, or you accept this the way it is and you're a slave and you live with it. And if they want to, take your family or hurt your family or take your property or do it, you can't really say anything because you said it was okay.
Well, Sorry.
Everyone's typing.
Go
I'm not
ahead,
typing.
Andrew.
I was
Go
saying,
ahead.
historically, our country's always had an element of narcissism attached to it, so that's not surprising at all. I mean, even since the founding. I mean, not to say that we didn't deserve to be free or anything, but it's just how it is.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's narcissism. Right? I think we're.
Well, I mean,
globally, that has been like colonization bad. You know, oh, we're sorry that we colonized your country and that we've taken all your resources and done all this for 100 years or 80 years or whatever. Here, you have your freedom back. I mean, Britain's done that for a lot of countries, but it's not like they haven't gotten everything from those countries already. And France is really good at it. France is awesome because they quietly colonize and then they make them dependent. And then they're like, hey, you guys have freedom. You do whatever. You have to use our currency. You have to do this. You have to do that. And then they're totally dependent on them. They're, what's the word? Yeah, they're like those, codependent, colonizers, where they make them, oh, why did you make me beat you, baby? You're so bad. Why? I don't want to hurt you like that. And they have those countries like apologizing to them, but they're not looked at as regular colonizers. When you go through Africa, dude, France is like they have so much military there. They're fighting there. We could go over the Christians, the Trumps and the troops to fight in Nigeria.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a real big deal, especially to them. I watched Nigeria's television, and it was crazy the way they were reporting on it. They're like the supermen have come with their alien technology that is so far beyond us that we've never seen and we can't understand, and there's like over 100 of them, so that can take 10,000 of these rebels. Were saved. It was a little weird to see how they reported the news. Just talking about like our C-130 flew in and they talked about the C-130 for like 2 minutes.
C-130s are kind of awesome.
They were like, this thing did this, and there was all these pins. They had this on it and this, and it can do this, blah blah blah, and and then it landed, and then these people came out. Look at these people, and it's just
it's literally a flying garage, right? Like if you had one in your backyard, you could just park it and not have a garage, right? You just pull into the plane. It's amazing.
But the way that they've reported on it in Nigeria is and they even said it was like, y'all are in trouble. They were like, they're here now. You guys are in trouble. They're gonna wipe you out. It was very, very bizarre for me, very different. But this has been going on for a long time, and I have friends there in Nigeria that are Christians, and they're very scared. It's nuts.
What about this one? Iran and Russia will begin joint naval exercises in the Gulf of Oman and northern part of the Indian Ocean on February 19th, according to Iranian media, Glenn Fraser says.
So where I'm curious where the Iranian media element came from. Was that a direct observation or was it a Reuters translation? Because then we have to worry about Reuters, right?
That is the thing. Like a lot of it is translated back and forth between different media outlets, but I don't know.
Those news syndicators are crazy manipulators, right? Like, if you want to look at the Atlantic Council connections to news media manipulation, just look at the newswire services.
But I've been saying we're going to war with Iran for like a month because there's certain things happening in Europe first. And they happened over a month ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is we're going to war with Iran," and then everything has been
you're right.
It's been going up.
One bombing my butt.
And and now and then they started talking about Iran starting a nuclear program in this one place we missed that's even deeper than the other ones were, was like,
Yeah, it sounds like WMD. Did they find those ever? I'm
it was
pretty sure
'cause
they didn't.
you can't say this was so successful and everything went so perfect and so great. Hey, we got to do it again.
Yeah,
month
the
later.
two-step, right? They did the two-step to us. They said, we got them. And
Mhm.
then they pretended like they did for a while. And now they're like, well, there's this other hidden area that's deeper hidden. Guessing if we got that one, we'd probably have another one coming.
And talking about
Just a guess.
Israel, Epstein, Russia, all of that. Something that I've talked about for a long time is that we don't learn in school about Russia. Russia saved our country many times, and most people don't know that. The slavery was abolished. The North won.
That was Russia.
One of the biggest reasons was because of Russia.
Russia literally stood in the way of Britain and France and said, "You enter this war, you're going to deal with us, and you're going to be fighting over here and everywhere else." And Britain and France are like, we don't really want another war. They just dealt with Crimea.
We're all in crypto. You guys know about Lieberland, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Lieberland was a cool. I mean, I always love
Yeah.
attempts to build libertarian states because they almost never work.
But it's the thing is, why
They're
don't they
cool
work?
when they're in spin up.
Because to become a country, what does that mean? And basically,
Well, I mean, look at Somaliland, for example.
You just
right?
Somaliland. There's a bunch. There's a lot of them, but you just need
Mhm.
a country to acknowledge you're a country. It's kind of like any
That's
night
it.
you make a night.
Pretty much.
That said, Somaliland is unique in that it hasn't been acknowledged by the UN, and yet it is a functioning governmental unit that actually provides services to the people who live there.
Yeah. What about
Same with,
where, they kidnapped the German whatchamacallit, and then Germany sent diplomat, and because they sent a diplomat, that they were like, that's it, you've just acknowledged we're a country because you sent an actual diplomat to parlay with us as a government, as a country. So you've acknowledged we're a country. But anyway, the thing is, so we never learn in school about how that works. But when the South seceded, we were the southern states of the United States. We were a country. The South was a country, just like the United States. And it was. So
Each state was technically
had our
taxed
own
on
had our own
that.
tax, or had our own currency, had our own government. Everything was a country. But Russia, because of Cassius Clay, the first word we never taught about, literally one of the greatest Americans ever. He was so just powerful and beloved that Lincoln had to get him away, or else he would have taken over. So he sent him to Russia as the ambassador, and he talked Russia into. They told the world, not just Europe, not just Britain, the world, any country that recognizes the South as a country, we will declare war on the entire Russian Empire.
Yep.
That's the whole reason that nobody gave aid to the South. One country gave aid to the South, and that was Spain. They sent a ton of troops to go and support the South. They came into the Gulf of Mexico. They were going to bolster all the forces and wipe out the North, and that would have been it. The South would have won. Very different history. But along the way, we can crush this little Mexican uprising that we got, right? Spain said. So let's kill these farmers and then move into Texas, Louisiana, and then support, hook up with the Southern Army. And they got crushed and killed by those farmers for Mexican independence. That's what Cinco de Mayo is. But people don't know any of that. They don't know that those troops were there to support the Confederate States. And that's why it was a side mission for that game, for them to go and kill the revolution, and they got crushed. but it's just a day to get drunk after Star Wars Day, Cinco de Mayo. But really, that's what it is. It's a huge American holiday, if you really think about it. That's also Ghislaine Maxwell's father is the one that printed all the books, our history books that we learned from in school. That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why you don't know about Russia. You don't know about the fact that England's tried to take over like 2 or 3 times with different wars, and we just kind of gloss over that. Just we learned about the first one.
And there's a lot of history there too with respect to Russians or people in the Russian Federation, the Soviet Socialist Republics, so to speak. Like if you look at Václav Havel and some of the stuff that he wrote, he talked a lot about how the West had kind of already colonized the Soviet bloc in a way because of how much their sort of cultural dependency started to frame it, right? Like they started to adopt Western ways. They started to adopt Western money. They started to trade in dollars, even though it was illegal to have money, right? Ultimately, communism became a weird hybrid that met halfway in the middle between Western capitalism, what we have had as we had back then, and what they had as far as communism. It's kind of interesting.
Never made it past the socialist aspect, and then adopted the more nationalist aspect of what we would call fascism because it had to. I mean, so
basically we ended up as a counterforce that forced them to adopt a thing that I would say now we come to from the other direction, where our liberty has been sort of Sovietized in a way.
I remember when I first learned what communism was and how shocking it was to me, because I grew up in it, and so I didn't need someone to explain. You don't need someone to explain to you like what something is. Like if you go over someone's house and they give you some weird food, you're like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's haggis." They have to explain what it is. But if you grew up there, you don't have to explain that. Or if you're Scottish, it's like someone coming over to like my grandmother's house and put down lasagna, and they're like, "What be this?" I'd have to explain it, but I'd be like, "What? Lasagna?" So I grew up, with communism. I could see what it was. It was, and then when someone told me what it was, I was like, "That's beautiful. That's not communism." There was a dude with an AK-47 that was pointed it at my head in Berlin. That's communism. It's like, no, that's fascism. And then I was like, "You're talking about hippies," and they're like, "Yeah, it's like
you're splitting hairs, basically.
It's like a communism. I was like, "That's really nice." And they're like, "Yeah," and now, but I can see where people that grew up now, where there is no real communism to see, especially a couple of years ago when Venezuela was great. It's very easy to just say, "Hey, that's beautiful," because it is. It's.
Well, I mean, you look at it close, right? Like, if you want to look at the silver lining here, it's that the ideals that communism as expressed are really pretty, right? Like they sound like stuff we could all get behind.
Yeah.
The problem is when you start looking at it in detail and starting unpacking the way the causes and effects play out, the way that they implement that starts with, okay, first we need a whole bunch of people at the top to decide what good is, and now we're going to scale everybody.
I think it's scale that messes it up, though, because I think it could be. I think it was running right now.
It's without. It's the absence of money.
If you look at like 50 artists that come together, old artists that come together and they buy a ranch out in New Mexico, they can all live together and sell their art, and they all pitch in, and everybody gets a share, and everything's great.
But highly capitalistic.
But when you start talking about like a town or a big city, even at that size, it falls apart. Because
I think that really has to do
too much diversity.
The fact that they think the labor theory of value is
too many perspectives.
Right?
Also, I think it's something like that. It's everybody's kind of doing the same thing. Everybody's doing the same amount of work. Whereas, like, hey, I can't. I'm not an artist. My mom is, but I can, tend a garden, or I can fix stuff, or it's a small scale. But
think about this. Does everyone give their moms credit for like all the extra unpaid work they do when they think about like the absence of money in a family household? Do you ever think about like how much time your mom or your domestic
No, but
side
also
of
something
the
that's
side
hard,
of the house
that's
takes
hard,
care
a
of,
pill
like when
that's
you're
hard to
not paying
swallow
attention.
is you're okay with your mom doing that for you, but you'd have to be okay with your mom going the extra mile for someone you don't even like that lives in the town.
Well, I mean, is it
That
terribly
part.
fair to mom, even when you give her like a good card every year? Like, honestly, it's a sacrifice, a labor of love that she is making because you're her child, right?
Mhm.
Like,
And
that's a really different thing
brings
from being asked to take care of everybody as the community grows, because you don't even have any control over whether or not you have another kid, you know?
and that brings to a good point right here is, can real communism truly be tried when reflected against real solid foundation of what we call capitalism? Like, can we combine the two and make something perfect? Like, let's take the blockchain, for example. Can the blockchain inevitably lead us to this society that's utopian-esque? Obviously, there's not perfection in the world, and there never will be. But could we have a classification of entrepreneurship combined with the communal share of society as communism entails, and combine it and meet in the middle utilizing something like blockchain?
I would say yes and no myself, but whoever wants to throw an opinion out there first, I'll go last.
Let's go in a circle. Andrew, you haven't talked in a while. Why don't you go first? Then we'll go to Sean and then Greg.
Okay. I mean, I think, it's the whole strategy that there's safety in numbers. If the numbers are stable, then yeah, I could see, it could potentially operate for a while, but the whole effort is kind of, once you manipulate the money through inflation because we need a little credit, that's where it starts falling apart. Because historically, we've had hard money like gold and silver, and we would back it, but then we needed a little credit, and okay, so we would devalue the currency into paper notes, and then after a while, the paper notes aren't worth it, so we need to actually have credit cards and stuff like that, and that's where we fall down to the rabbit hole of just total capitulation every time. It's all about, you have to stop appealing for credit, or you have to actually be efficient with what you have.
But how does blockchain apply, Andrew?
Well, I mean, that's the effort, right? It's trying to keep the money hard. Blockchain's the effort to do it.
It always comes back to making it hard with Andrew.
It's like pulling. It's like, I don't know. It's like pulling teeth and massaging a bald panda at the same time.
Right, like yak shaving, pretty much. Exactly.
That's a weird dentist, man.
The ease of it depends on how tame your yak is.
Go ahead, Sean.
I think Andrew made a point but he said we need a little credit. You don't need credit if you have savings, and that's the thing. If you had the efficiency, like we're talking about, and you're able to have that surplus, if you prepare, then you don't need the credit because you have the savings. If someone else, and you could help someone else, you have that savings, you have that buffer. So that's, I think, one of the most important things is to get to where hard times make strong men who make good times, who make so on. But that's, you just got to miss that step. We all have a family member who's who lives under their means, doesn't have the nicest car, doesn't have the nicest house, but when they have the most money, they're the one that always helps with, when there's a problem with their family, because they're the most responsible. And it's not fair, it's not right, but it's the way things are. I think that's what we need to really get to, is to earn And everybody wants that. We're in this consumerism world where we want stuff right now, or even before. Like you go into massive debt, with student loans and everything. Not usually, and I don't use just a blanket statement, but it's usually not because you want to do a job that it's you really love and it's going to be fulfilling, and it's because you want to make a bunch of money, and that's why you're investing in yourself. Where and then you start out that way, and then you have to take more and more debt just to kind of get whatever you're doing started. So it's a revolving thing, but I think if we apply blockchain, if we Andrew used the right word is just efficiency, and then save up and get those storehouses full to where we earn that vacation. We earn that time off. We earn that reward. It's just a lot better. But that's how the system is supposed to work. And going back to the communism thing, that's literally like what the family unit used to be. I talked about this with Lisa. We talked about like years and years ago, everybody talked about the nuclear family and how the nuclear family was under attack, and we need to get back to the nuclear family. The nuclear family is the loss. If you go to the nuclear family, you've already lost your fight. That's not how we were. That's not how things were. We used to be like a commune family, and people are starting to see that, where it's like, hey, you buy your 5 acres or 10 acres, and my brother's house is right down the path here. My mom and dad live up here. I live here. My brother has some goats and a cow. They make all the milk. My parents have chickens. We don't have to worry about eggs. We don't have to worry about chicken. My wife has a huge garden. She grows vegetables for everybody. That's it. You're having like almost an enclosed small society within your family. Your kids are born. Right. Your kids, they pick out a plot when they get married, and everybody builds a house. It's almost like Amish kind of thinking.
Sounds like agorism.
Yeah, but that's how we used to live. That's how we used to live.
I disagree. Only in this respect, and I've been putting this in the chat, but like the really important thing to remember about communism is it's a collective decision-making body for what civilization does, right? So if we were a communist world, right, we would have to all agree before we took any action. Otherwise, it wouldn't be communism. It would be some form of totalitarianism, because at that point, you got the choice between getting actual consensus, every last person with the decision-making authority, a head of household or whatever you want to organize it like. I mean, in a pure communism, you don't even have that. You have just like individuals, and some of them are children, right? So do you have everybody agree before you can do stuff? In which case, you're going to have a minarchy, which would be cool, right? If people could stick to it. But
so what you're saying is we need to think on the scale of Charles Fourier rather than Karl Marx. Charles Fourier without the weird sex cult stuff, but
how would you characterize Charles Fourier's thought versus Marx?
I think we're thinking too much in the form of governments, with communism. I think forget communism, forget governments. If you come together, let's say we're all related. We're all brothers. We live on the property. And Andrew hates daisies, and but we need to grow daisies for like some kind of medicine, and he doesn't want daisies around his house. We all vote. We need the daisies, man. We got to have the daisies to make this medicine or whatever.
He's gonna be pushing daisies.
And then
you don't like daisies,
but I'm like, we all we have the consensus to have the daisies, but we're like, Andrew. Andrew really does hate daisies because that girl Daisy, did that terrible thing to him in junior high. So I'm not going to grow the daisies here by my house. We'll have mom and dad. They'll grow them in their backyard, so he doesn't have to look at them, because we need the daisies, but we'll keep them away from Andrew. That's how it is. It's just still a family, but my point was it used to be that was like the first before there was you worried about like the Amish before you worried about the city government, the county government, whatever, you had that small group that you made the decision together. There was that's how it was at first, before you had to worry about, getting food or anything, getting your car fixed, whatever. You had your own group, and we still do that, but it's a much looser group, and you can't really depend on that. A lot of people have a good circle, and you can really, you can depend on your friends, but to a certain degree. It used to be, it was like ironclad. You knew
Mhm.
you could anytime.
Well, I mean, and for what it's worth, you guys are my friends, and I still hold to that rule, right? Y'all ever need a place to crash, and you're in my area, you've got a place, but that's not the way the world works really anymore, is it?
Oh, it's weird that it doesn't. It is
Mhm.
weird. Like,
Yeah.
I've one of the strangest, and this is a long time ago. I said, I was cooking, and I said, hey, we're out of sugar, we're out of something. And then my son's like, oh no, we have it, it's over here. And I was like, oh man, I was about to send you next door to get a cup of sugar. And all four of them looked at me like I was insane. They were like,
Mm.
like what? I'm not gonna go next door and just ask for sugar. It's like, yeah, you ask for a cup of sugar. It's like a thing. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's a
I wouldn't do it. I
simple
wouldn't do it.
solution to
I wouldn't do
otherwise
it.
difficult coordination
They're
problem.
like, what do you mean you wouldn't do it? It's like, no way. I'm not gonna go next door
Well,
and ask for sugar.
yeah.
That's crazy,
I-
Dad. You're insane. And I was like, why? They hate us. Why do they hate you? I don't know. Wouldn't you? And I was like, no, they don't.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we've been conditioned in the. I mean, each generation is different, right? And the next generation has been conditioned. Sadly, it goes down from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Because society has conditioned itself to where we have to be afraid. And like I mean, I remember growing up in my neighborhood, like neighbors were neighbors, but now somebody new comes in and like you go say hi to them. Yeah, you
right
go,
away.
you say hi to them as because they're the new person, and they're like, "Who the are you?"
Yeah.
Like,
Dude,
like what?
have you ever just
I'm
started
like,
a
I'm just
conversation
saying.
though with someone random? Like it actually works if you're nice, like if you're nice about it.
Yeah.
And
like,
it's much
I
better
will
here in the
say-
South. It's much better here in the
Yeah.
South. I remember it was like 40 years ago. I went up north, visit my family. We're in New Jersey, New York, and my wife, super Southern, like we would go into a store and she would just say, hi, how y'all doing? Everybody's like, oh, it's a crazy. Everybody's like clutching their purse,
Well, it actually
stepping
works
back.
though. I've been trying that, like at the store, just like saying hello to the people and
Yeah,
talking
but
to
you're
them
in
like they're
Kansas.
people.
It's
It
very
does.
different.
No,
than
in Texas.
Indiana. Yeah.
In Texas, it works.
It does. I remember because I'm from up there, and I grew up in Europe, and I was we're driving, and this truck passed, and the dude waved, so I look at my girlfriend at the time, like, who the hell is that guy? And she's like, he was waving at you. I was like, I don't know that guy. He's waving at you. Who the hell is this dude waving at you? She's like, he's just waving at you. I'm like, he's not waving at me. I don't know him. She's like, people wave at each other. I was like, that's insane.
that's
Nobody
neat.
waves at someone when they're driving that they don't know. That you wave at someone if they're like their tires flat.
That's the difference
That's how
of
I grew up, man.
that rural
And
hospitality.
she's
Like
like,
when
no, we wave at each other.
yeah,
It's to be friendly. And I was like,
Right.
that's
I can
real.
I can pull from that, Sean. Like I live on the edge, and my family has a farm out in the boonies, like not too far from here. And I'm like on the edge of rural and suburban. Like when I leave town, I see the difference. Like when I'm out in the country, random people will just wave, and I'll be like, "Oh, hi," wave.
Yeah.
And then you come back to town, and it's like everybody's like this. Let's be like Cincinnati type mentality.
It's a
Like
different. People are cordial versus
suspicious
friendly. It's
Yeah.
literally cordial versus friendly. And
Mhm.
it's funny. I remember we're going on a road trip, and we're going through Virginia, and we stopped and we went out to eat, and everybody's fine, but people weren't friendly. And then we drove like 45 minutes crossed into West Virginia, and I mean border, like we just crossed over, and we pulled over to get gas at like 7-Eleven or something, and we walked in, and the lady was like, "Hi, how y'all doing? You having a good trip?" I mean, it was night and day from like 30 minutes of driving. It is a definite culture, when it comes to it, and our country is weird because it's so big, and we don't get that. If you live in different places around the world, you can kind of get it, because there's some countries that are so culturally that, if you're in Germany or Austria versus Spain, and that's like going from, Texas to Florida, or Texas to not even that far, Georgia or something. And to be that different culturally, living that close together, it's kind of odd. But that's how, it is when you look at countries. But to be in the same country and look at the difference culturally, in different places, it's makes you really realize how different America is.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we've kind of lost something. Like right now, it's Ash Wednesday. So if you're a Christian, folks, please oblige to it. It's about sacrificing, and it's about giving things up so that you can be in the service of others, right? Like the idea is to go beyond yourself. And I think that's what we're missing in most of our cultures today, is a lot of people don't want to serve. They want to be served. And I think that's where you have the issue. Like that's where you have the divide between the Northeast and the Deep South. Is in the South, people are willing to serve each other in the, say in like Texas or whatever, and then, or parts of Texas, maybe not Austin. But in like the Northeast or certain parts of like the Pacific Northwest or whatever, like people don't want to, they want all the conveniences of society, but they don't want to actually work to gain those conveniences, which might take serving other people, like actually doing for others and actually being hospitable and actually being cordial and polite. I mean, and thankful. And I think that's what we're forgetting in this society, is we need to serve rather than be served.
Well, and also to stop being cowards about it. Frankly.
Yeah, it's like Greg wrote there about the cowardly thing. It's almost like we've made it towards like a bad thing. It's like you're weak.
Like we're so afraid of somebody going, ew, cringe. Like we're all worried about what the teenagers on the corner that aren't there think.
Yeah, I mean, if someone goes into politics, I think they should go in to be a public servant, not a public official.
Right. And if you think that like
I don't use
putting yourself beneath somebody visibly is a political faux pas, then you're probably not cut out for the role of leadership.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a leader, but they don't want to like admit they're serving. You know what I mean? Like they're the head of it. They're not part of it. Everybody wants to be the head of it, not the part of it. And I think
what's wrong with being a part of it? Like, why does everybody want to be the head? The head sucks.
It does make it seems to take more courage now to be like kind and kind. It definitely
forget to differentiate kindness and courtesy, because courtesy is procedural kindness, right? Like it's like a way of making kindness happen by habit.
But even that is being thrown out the window. I mean, if you own a restaurant and someone comes in with a MAGA hat, there's people that are mad that you're just being courteous and not kicking them out or yelling at them.
It's weird. Being discourteous should definitely not be a moral directive. Like if you want to have a nice civilization.
It's same token. If somebody comes in with a ACAB hat, you can disagree with that, but you still aren't going to not serve them.
You know what I say to somebody when I see them wearing a hat that I disagree with? I say, nice hat. Looks good on you. Because they're probably wearing it to be disagreed with, right?
Yeah.
And you just shock the frame if you go, hey, that's a cool hat. I like it. Looks good on you. Color red, totally.
The color looks good on you, yeah.
Yeah, they'll immediately assume that you're like a MAGA person.
What do you mean?
That make America great makes you look.
I'm just saying, nice hat. I like it. Looks good on you. Hats are cool, right? What's wrong?
I like that red there, buddy. That's what I like to say. I like that red in your hat. Really brings out the color in your eyes.
That's why I still honk at the protesters who are like protesting stuff that I agree with policy wise. Say I don't want people to feel like everybody driving around is an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Bad Bunny thing, the Super Bowl halftime. People are like, well, you know, did you hate it or did you like it? I was like, it was okay. I didn't understand it, so I didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's not okay, dude. You have to love it or hate it. I'm like, no, I don't. I didn't understand it, so I can't hate it because I didn't understand it. And I thought it looked cool. He was jumping around and, you know, doing like parkour. That was neat.
Fun.
But I didn't, like, I don't care about it because I didn't understand it. You know, Greg told me those people really got married. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They really got married. If I knew that, I would think that was cooler at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
When you think about like all the witnesses required for a wedding to be sealed, like that's more than a royal wedding, right? Like,
I thought it was, and also those people
amazing.
have, you know, like these famous people are on, you know, witnesses at their wedding, but you know, the production value that's I thought that was cool, but literally I was like a little kid that doesn't understand anything, just looking at the colors. I don't.
No, totally,
Yeah,
Sean. And I think that's the most beautiful way to look at it, because if you look at it like that, then you see that there's good in the, you know, just the setup of it. Like that, everything about it isn't great. That's not perfect, but why zoom in on the shitty details when there's so much good?
So, but people are mad because I didn't get emotional about it. I'm like, right, not gonna get emotional about it, you know, because
it's not like they're not in your head. They're not gonna have your emotions.
There's nothing to get emotional.
Intrusive.
You know, there's nothing.
Speaking of getting emotional, everybody, I know you're a little emotional right now. I know that you're about to crash out. Why don't you go and head over to w.gg for 10% off, get yourself some W, and wake up, perk up, get some caffeine for the evening. I know it's 6 o'clock in the evening. Who cares? Stay up till midnight. Stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Use the other half of the canister to dye your dog's hair color, right? Like
exactly. Sleep when you're dead. Sleep when you're dead. Don't crash at all. Get a boost without the crash. It's a lot healthier than coffee or Monster that's of Satan. Go over to w.gg and put in.
Also consider probably not bathing or trying to dye your dog's hair with it. I'm not sure if it works the same way as Kool-Aid, but I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't want to caffeinate your dog. So another bad use for W is dog hair dye. I don't recommend it. At least until they say otherwise.
Get yourself some W.
Yep. Don't snort it. Don't color your pet's hair with it.
Anyways, Andrew, you've been quiet, so I'm gonna put the spotlight on you.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've been talking about the different stuff with government and stuff like that. And I've been thinking, you know, historically in the United States and, like, say, the Soviet Union, the framework was this: is we're going to have a decentralized body to govern different territories, and it gets centralized. And once it gets centralized, then all the real troublesome action starts. So we have wars and stuff like that. It always comes back to the fact that there's somebody that plays other parties against each other in order to be a middle manager and eventually to assume control. And I think that if you can keep an eye out for stuff like that, then you're, especially if you're, you know, reestablishing, you know, what the government is, then you're going to have a better chance of trying to fight out and maintain the decentralization. I don't think that ever actually works in the long term. I think it's better to, like Hans-Hermann Hoppe says, have microstates, because you're better able to manage the situation and have a genuine consensual governing model. But that's just my take on the matter.
I think John had it right, which when he told me and talked about it, I was like, yeah, man, you're silly. But the more I think about it, it's like that makes so much more sense than our current system. And John McAfee, he would always told me that he thinks that that government office, whether it's like Congress or even the presidency, that person shouldn't want to be there. He said as soon as the person says they want it, you can't trust them, because there's no logical reason for them to do that. mean, logically, if you're a multimillionaire, there's no reason for you to do a job that's going to pay you $200,000 and have people that, if you're also liked by everyone, doesn't make any sense for you to take a job where half the people in the world are going to hate you, or in your country are going to not like you. None of it makes any logical sense. He said it should be like jury duty. Like you should get, a letter in the mail that says, "Oh, you got a Congress duty for the next 2 years, 4 years," and you should be like, "Damn it, I got to be a congressman. This sucks. I've got to leave my business. I got to leave my job. I got to go do this for 4 years," and then you go do it. But it would alleviate so many problems. It would fix so many things if we actually did a system like that. And then you get to, and this is frustrating for anyone, because you get to this argument where you're like, but those people aren't qualified. They're not, they haven't done stuff in government and they don't know how to do things. But then
right. And it would be impossible to organize a vote around who's the expert at, because
but you want
voting is a popularity contest. Not
you say you want,
test.
and you don't want someone who's a just a politician. But then you argue that you do. It's like people that say,
I'm somebody who isn't a politician.
Take away the Second Amendment, but I don't trust the government. But I think the government's the only people that should have guns. It's like logically, it doesn't make sense. So,
no, it doesn't at all.
That's why I think he's right. It should be a something you're called to do. You're called to serve, like you serve jury duty, and then you're not an official. I'm an official because I have jury duty. No, you're like, I have to serve on the jury. You
could have with the digital age, right? Any person who was selected at an appropriate level, and I'm not saying that this is an acknowledgement that a global or even a national authority is sufficiently local to have sensible rules, right? It's a different argument. But what I would say is that if you want to have a system that gets decisions made reasonably, that's from a large group, that you should appoint on a turn-by-turn sort of autocratic basis. You draw a name from a hat of acceptable names, and whoever comes out of the hat should be the person who gets to make like one decision in that role, and that's it. And then we'd go back to the hat. That way there's no time for corruption to get a handle on who's in charge, because the in-charge person is just taking the role of decision maker temporarily and then laying it back down for the next person to have their turn. That way you don't ever get captured. But to do that at a global level still wouldn't make any sense, right? Because you got the locality problem, which says action's local. So I'm going to make rules based on probably stories I heard at a national level. You'll hear these like tragic stories puffed up at like the State of the Union or whatever to frame an issue a certain way. What you end up with is a global rule meant to address that one situation, but that applies to everyone, which ends up not making sense in a majority of cases.
I got to go here in a sec because I got to cook for family night, but I wanted to ask you guys about you just brought up the State of the Union, and this crazy thing to me. If you watched Truth Tuesday, I asked Lisa about it, and she didn't think it was crazy until I brought it up, and she's like, "Yeah, that is weird." So the State of the Union's coming up, and Trump said he's going to do it. He will have the State of the Union even if he said the Dems, but if the government shut down, it'd be both sides. So, but if they shut down the government and he has the State of the Union, what does that mean? Especially Greg being, former lawyer, does it still count? Is the State of the Union something that's required now? And or would he still happen in Congress and be like huge and all that, or could he just deliver it like from the White House? Would they still have like all the people that he would say that this guy did this in this country, and he just got sure they're going to talk about the Venezuelan SEALs and stuff. I'm sure they're going to be there at the State of the Union if everything goes through. They're going to have them stand up and all. So would they still do that if it was just in the White House?
Well, see, here's the thing.
What's going to happen?
It'll be organized so you can organize a meeting of Congress technically in any room that the chair calls to order where there's a quorum. So you could actually bring, the Speaker of the House who would call that to order, and have everybody there in any given room, and all they have to do is bang a gavel, take a quorum call, and we're in session, right?
Yeah, but would you have the Supreme Court? Would you have Joint Chiefs of Staff?
Those guys visit by custom to that. It's really not. I mean, like
it's really just Congress.
It's a joint session of Congress, is what the Constitution requires.
Oh, so there is a legal requirement for the State of the Union.
But it is a special session of Congress that can be called to order outside of any other governmental business.
Okay, because me and Lisa had no idea. We're like, because she just thought, well, it's no big deal. He's just going to enforce it. But then I was like, well, what about money and this and that and like all these? How does it actually work? Is it legal? Do they have to have it? When did it start? Because I started asking questions. I'm a very why guy, So I didn't.
What did you learn? What did you learn about it? We'd love to hear what you learned.
Well, you've talked. So it is required. It is a joint session of Congress. It's actual.
Yes.
They're calling it. So the other people.
I meant stuff that I didn't say, like other stuff about it.
The other people are there that just because they want to go, they don't have to be, which is interesting.
Yep.
So I mean, you could snub it if you wanted to.
You could.
So that tells a lot. So now, I mean, to me now, if you just knowing that, which we should learn that, that says a lot about like the joint sheet. People that don't have to be there, they're there. Because people that don't want to be there that are there, like they all wore colored, coordinated stuff or buttons or whatever. There's ways that they've protested, but so all the people that don't have to be there, just the fact that they're there, I think that's a big statement. But yeah, that's neat. That's neat. But I'm looking forward to see what happens. I love it when the government shut down, though. I think it's it's
cool. They shut down all the time.
I love it when it's honest because what's really happening is it's shutting off the part that they pretend to be okay with spending on us, right? The part that actually stays on is the part that they never turn off, whether or not they stop taxing you or not, right? Like they're still going to tax you and they're still going to spend and they're still going to pay the national credit card. The question is, does the national credit card do anything for you? And that's the shutdown question. Right? Right. They go into lean mode where the country operates essential only, and essential only does not include services for U.S. citizens.
It's very interesting that when they went to essential, they made sure that the poor got their food. They got their bread.
They were close to the edge on that one.
And that they were
close to the edge.
They made sure that the poor got their bread and that the soldiers got their money. They didn't piss off
in their hovels and the army on the borders.
They didn't piss off the poor, and we can't piss off the poor. We can't piss off the military.
Right, and we can't turn off the federal police because otherwise the surveillance apparatus shuts off. Right.
And they made sure that all the Indians got their HB1 visas.
Yep, and all of the beautiful people building leering centers all over the great state of Minnesota.
It took me a second there. Yeah, leering centers. Did you see the hubris that the attorney general had when he went before of Minnesota when he went before Congress? It's so obvious that their laws don't apply to these people.
Can we really call it hubris, though? Is it really hubris? Because it's not God's law, right? It's this national body. I mean, and as far as for we can throw them.
It's an arrogance.
We almost have to apologize to the AG for being pissed about it because I don't respect that body. Do you? I mean, would you respect it if you had to talk to it? I would give it.
Yeah, but I haven't, overseen billions of dollars in fraud and taken, millions of dollars in fraud.
A pile of fraud, right? Like,
and if I did,
the people who commit fraud.
If I did, and the cops were asking me about it, I wouldn't be like, "Shut up." I would be like,
maybe we should be, right? Like, here's an interesting question. Maybe what we ought to do is say, like, I'm sorry that your job requires you to work for this evil entity, but right now there's so much fraud going on. The fact that you're here investigating me for fraud when what's going on in the Capitol, I find remarkably offensively funny. And so I'm going to decline until you have a warrant. But it's not anything about you. It's just the irony of having an organization that is basically built on high amounts of measurable fraud, investigating one citizen for it. Like, you should really look at some of the people who are running it and check out the latest Doge publishings, because there's a lot bigger fish for you to fry than me.
Are you talking about the Medicaid money?
I'm talking about like the general Doge findings of like the massive amounts of foundational fraud of the core of the system. Hey man, there's a big case over there if you want to front it.
With your
Right.
dad being a doctor, you'll find this interesting. So Doge just released this thing in I think it's New Mexico. This one single doctor guy, one guy running a van down by a cactus in New Mexico. He was doing like 800 claims a day for 7 years.
Impressive.
Yeah, he took in like
for 7 years. Okay, 7 years is less impressive.
over
That's how many claims a day?
800 claims a day
800 a day for how many
for
years?
7 years.
So
He's
he did
taken in over
800 times 365
times 7.
times 7.
Yeah, so
That's a lot of claims.
he's taken in over
Mhm.
$70 million. Another guy,
Christmas.
single dude out of an apartment, a residential apartment, about the same, over 1,000 a day.
Dude, if you're going to do that, just if you're out there thinking about doing fraud against the government, please consider at least being a Robin Hood about it, because that's all our money, right? Like, and there are
That's
plenty of
$2,044,000.
I told
So if
Lisa
you want to give it away,
when we were going
I'd be
over it,
totally down.
when we were going over it, I told Lisa, I was like, I don't think that's a single guy. I was like, it's too greedy, number one. And then
Yeah.
for the amount, I said, that's organized crime. You can't, it's not one guy.
Well,
That's
and
like
I
a
wonder,
group.
Sean, I wonder if the detail they left out is that the reason that it was only 7 million is because only brute forcing the system like
No,
that
7D.
made a success rate happen.
7D
Right,
million.
right. So 70 million. I wonder if every single one of his applications was successful, or if saying 800 of them is a way of saying, yeah, he was really trying hard to get fraud through, but he only succeeded like twice.
Not for 70 million.
But
But yeah, let's say 10%
Who knows?
didn't go through.
I mean,
Yeah.
they make $1 billion grants out of that freaking system. Who knows?
No,
70
these are
million might
these
have
are
just
just
been the
regular
one time
things
he got
like
lucky.
like people coming to the doctor, tests, that kind of thing. Because it was a medical doctor for, geez.
That's what those COVID tests were, was a giant cash stem. Like anybody who wanted to go and do COVID testing in the community could just basically sign up to get money sent to them for free.
Pretty much.
No, I unpacked that one when I was waiting in line at Eat Denver 2020, because I was, or 21 when they had it again. I was like, well, I'm about to have somebody shove a thing up my nose, which is going to be weird because I'm going to try to not comply.
Oh, I hated
Let's
those.
see how
yeah.
this works out.
Mm-hmm.
I still ended up having to comply. I tried to politely decline. They said, well, then you can't come in. I was like, well, fine, give me the damn nose hole too. Right. But as I was standing there, I looked at the company and I was like, these guys just started this thing last week. Who are they? They're not even crypto people.
Right.
And, I started looking into it. I was like, whoa, you mean it's just one form you have to fill out to submit a claim? You don't even have to ask in advance to set up a test center?
Remember
just
how
build a
you
business and you're like,
told
hey, refund me. I did
Remember
this.
how you told me something? Yeah, you told me that you could, because there was no infrastructure yet, that they had, because they had overreached and overdone so much, that you could literally just say, oh, I did that, then you're like, oh, okay, you're covered. You
Oh
can
yeah, they
just
were just
say
handing it out.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I had I had this jab over here. Oh, I had the update there. And they were like, oh, okay. And then I'll put that in your chart. And then it's canon,
Yep, exactly.
because it was so.
It's a bureaucracy hack.
I remember I went to the emergency room, and it was like a year after, and I had got the Johnson & Johnson one because it was a regular vaccine. There
Mhm.
wasn't the RNA, and there was no boosters. They've since made boosters, but there was no boosters because they're like, it's a regular vaccine. You just get it and it's done. So I went to the emergency room. They're like, have you had your booster? Or have you had both boosters? And I'm like, no, I had the Johnson & Johnson. They're like, yeah, but have you had the boosters? I'm like, no, I had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Like, oh, yeah, I understand that because there's different kinds, but did you have your boosters? And I said, there is no boosters for the Johnson & Johnson. It's just a regular vaccine you get one time.
Yep.
And they were like, I don't think so. I got to go ask the doctor. And these are the RNs. So then two doctors came in and they're like, Mr. Anderson, we just need to know if you had the boosters. And I'm like, okay, this is making me worried because you're the doctor, but there are no boosters for the Johnson & Johnson. And they're like, I understand that you had Johnson & Johnson. There's different
So
vaccines.
they're suggested.
but did you have your boosters yet? And I'm like, dude, I had to
The
explain
right
it.
answer, by the way, in that situation is, oh yeah, I've had all the necessary boosters for the kind of shot I
No, I told him, it's like, I'm a little worried coming to you with my problems now when you're having a problem with this. So I explained it
Mhm.
like they were children, and they're like, really? They had to go and Google it.
Ugh,
You're like,
that's
I
so
remember.
bad.
He's like, yeah,
Oh man.
he's right.
See,
There is
that's
no boosters.
yeah.
I was like,
See, that's the problem with especially with the COVID ordeal. Is like it sewed everything up to know that we really don't have the smartest in the doctor's office. We really don't. Like most of the actual good doctors, they get the fuck out of here. They
Yeah.
go to
Well, they
Mexico.
mostly
They go to
retire.
India.
The way the
Retired.
system works now, they've retired. My
Mine
dad
retired.
explained to me
That-
why
that
one
too.
time. If you guys are
my
interested.
doctor retired, and it's been
Yeah.
the worst thing, dude. Person who took
Mhm.
over is literally like a caricature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and
He
then
just
the
gave
reason
me a prescription, and every time I go to him, he's like, hey, I got a guy. And I feel like I have to go behind a 7-Eleven and get whatever. But he told me, you get some testosterone, but you got to get it from this one pharmacy in Goldthwaite. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? He goes, yeah, there's the only place you can get it, but they'll mail it to you. And then I told
Yeah.
Lisa, I'm like,
all the way up in
isn't that
Muncie.
weird? And of course, Lisa's like, oh, he's getting a kickback from the pharmacy. See, doctors can get a kickback from
Well, it's
big
not
pharma,
even that,
but they can
actually.
get a kickback from
Yep.
the actual pharmacy. And I was
It's
like,
more than
what
that.
the fuck? You're right. That's what it is.
It's more than
That's
that. Actually.
exactly
There's
what
two,
it is.
There's two sides of it. There's a carrot and stick element here. You can also get flagged for prescribing anything that is off-label. If you don't stick with the same pharmacy, it's considered a risk factor for the law enforcement side of regulatory health, right? So if you want your medical license questioned, use a wide array of pharmacists.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think he worries about anything except for bottom line, making money.
I mean, he worries about his MedMal premium payment, right?
Which is
Because of
crazy
clinicians
how
that
high
have
that is. I gotta jump off. So I gotta
Mhm.
go start cooking.
Yeah.
You guys take care.
So, like, yeah.
Love you
You
guys.
have a good one.
All
It's
right.
really good to see you.
Listening. Remember, go
Thank
check
you
out
again,
Satoshi
Sean. It was great.
check out Satoshi Sean. Subscribe. Check me out on True Tuesdays. Check all of us out tomorrow on World Blockchain Roundtable. It's hosted by Dragon Chain. I stream it sometimes, but you can also watch it on Litecoin Lisa, and it's always on Dragon Chain and Den.social, those channels.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep.
We stream it too.
All right.
So thanks for joining us, John.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Sean,
Good
for
episode.
joining us. Fantastic episode. Anything more, fellas?
No, I think
well-
we covered basically.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I was
Greg's
saying,
thinking.
as far as I know, we've basically covered everything we're going to talk about today. So
I think so.
Mhm.
I think
we
the thing
have.
to remember here with all of this stuff, when we're talking about anything to do with systems that have governance attached to them, is that individual people have to be kept at the center of it, right? That we can't presume that because one set of facts makes a law sound like a good idea, that every set of facts makes that law a good idea. Because if we
Mhm.
apply global laws to local situations, then there's going to be a mismatch. And the thing to remember about writing laws, and this is old knowledge, this isn't from me, this is like, Addison Misner, like H.L. Mencken level era shit, right? Anytime you write a law and you make it legal on the books, you have to contemplate that someone is going to be charged with its enforcement, and that person is going to carry a gun, and that law is ultimately going to end up killing at least one person, almost certainly more. So you got to ask yourself every time you think of a new rule, is it worth somebody dying in circumstances that are inapplicable to this for this law to exist? And if you can't say yes to that and have a clean conscience, then you really ought not be supporting law. So that is the thing that people should especially remember with regulators, because those don't seem like they're enforced at gunpoint, but ultimately, if they're meaningful, they are.
a law is a form of
And if-
projection to cover fear. So
And
unfortunately,
if you
that's
want
just-
to go ahead, Andrew, finish your
That's-
thought.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is. People, I can't handle. There's gonna be a law. That's all that is.
Yep.
And if
And-
you'd
and
like
the-
to go dive deeper into the element of the psychological and the philosophical element of what this all means, you can go check out last week's episode, Deeply Rooted. What was it called, Andrew? It was last week's episode, everybody. But go check out the Legacy Ride. Go into the Legacy Ride live playlist and go check that out from last week. I believe it's called Deeply Rooted something spiritual.
I'll show you guys. I'm gonna pull it up real fast.
But,
Hang on. Let's see. Legacy Ride. So I'm right now, guys. I'm going. Everyone who's watching, if you just go into your YouTube interface, if that's what you're using. Legacy Ride. And just I always type in Zach because his name's the shortest. So boom, we got ourselves.
It's sad when you don't know your own title, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that doesn't work.
I got it.
To find channels.
It's deeply rooted, spiritually connected.
There you go. Deeply rooted, spiritually connected. Because honestly, when it all comes down to it, systems are just like the social parameters of everything when it comes to human inactivity. We're all deeply rooted and we're all spiritually connected in some capacity. We forget that. And so we end up having corrupt systems because we forget what human beings are all about, what human beings are capable of, and where it's all rooted epistemologically and even ontologically at that point. So if we can get back to a centerpiece, if we can get back and if we can center ourselves, and this is why I'm so adamant, I'm gonna preach here now, guys. I don't care if you're a Christian or not, but take the Lent season as something that we all can adjust to, whether you're Christian or you're non-Christian. You can be atheist for all I care, because I think it really is something when you have to give something up in order to effectively find yourself and how you can relay that to the interworkings of society. And that really comes back to, do you want to be a servant or do you want to just be served? And if you want to be served, well, then we're going to just be in we're going to have the same issues, the same problems that we have in today's day and age anyways. And if we get back to the simple fact that we're all serving each other in some capacity, markets are based on serving each other. If you're into the market aspect, it's all about human action. It's all about cooperation, and it's all about getting back together. So whether it's communism and its realist, localized level, or true entrepreneurship with capitalism, or whatever in between, the fact of the matter is it comes down to serving your fellow man.
Exactly. I like to say this one, but I'll put it in the chat to really underscore it. Right. So good entrepreneurs don't have product ideas. They have problem insights. So basically what that means is you don't get an idea and start a business. That's the way you serve yourself, and nobody likes to fund those.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a real problem identified, then you got yourself a business idea. If you can come up with a good solution that you can pull off, right? That could be as simple as, holy crap! I just noticed today that discount yo-yos are available bulk from my local hardware store right now for like $100. I could get 10,000 of them. I've got 10,000 units of inventory now for garage hanger downers that help people not ram their cars into the wall, because I was very annoyed when I got back from the store and that happened to me. Right now, you've got a business idea. Right? I just gave you a Dollar Tree level business idea in 20 seconds because I had a problem. Actually, I had to figure out how close to pull in. Right, and
my grandparents said they did that.
Something right there.
And if you don't want to go to the Dollar Tree, you can always go to the Dollar General, but I prefer the Dollar Tree anyways. It's much cheaper, even if it is $1.50. What was that, Greg?
They have way more cool stuff there. I got
actually, they do.
4
really
different kinds of every kind of vegetable, and it's like they had seeds there. This last time I was there, it was amazing. I got stacks of seeds.
I'll show you cool stuff.
I'll show you how I'm retarded.
See this? See this pan right here, everybody?
I see that pan.
Dollar Tree. This right here, this small little plan, and it works wonders for everything.
You can cook anything in it. You can also
You
put
really
anything in it
can.
that doesn't cook, right? You can keep a basin of water in it if you need to water your dog and you want to make sure that it has plenty of reach to get over. Whoop, I'm just falling. Like if you've got a small
I mean,
dog, don't give it a tall
that's a-
bowl, give it a pan.
You think that
All
would
right.
fit a small dog?
My dogs could reach over it. Now they might step into it, which would be kind of
You can-
funny, but
You could probably use it. You could use it as a water bowl too if you wanted to.
or like if you are interested in having more of those pans, you could probably strap one to your butt, one to your back, and you got yourself a sled.
Yes.
Interesting idea.
Yes. Next time it snows, I want to try it.
Anything can be anything if we imagine it, though.
So we have fun here, everybody. We have fun here.
Yes.
So anything else? Any more silver linings for the show, guys?
I have one more.
Uh,
Just one more.
sure.
Turn off your clocks. I took mine off my smartphone face. This will change your life. Do not listen to anybody's global clocks. If you need a timer, set a timer. If you need an alarm, set a timer. But do not set any clocks, and do not let them get into your brain, and try to stop living by the clocks that other people put in your head. And if you can do that, then you will find that you will have so much less stress in your life. And you can still do all the things that you want to do, but you just don't glance at the time so much. I think it's killing us all a little bit with stress, and I think the world would be better off without global clocks. So I'm encouraging everybody to take them off your devices. Don't let it rule you. You rule it. Time's a tool, not your master.
Absolutely.
Even now, says the Lord, return to me with your whole heart. From Joel 2:12. I think that goes to a T with the time.
No, it's dead on, man. It's dead on.
Yeah. Turn the clock off and start living life. Really, I mean, I've actually noticed too.
You probably want to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to be somewhere else, why are you glancing at it?
Mm-hmm. Like I noticed that too. I really didn't pay attention to that. I woke up at 6:30 today, and then I kind of like, I didn't do anything. I didn't have to go anywhere this morning, so I ended up just getting I just engrossed myself in the scripture all morning. Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I finally look at the time. I'm like, oh shit, it's 9. Then so went back.
Well, people can find you if they need you someplace. Like, I'm a perfect
Exactly.
example of that today, right?
Exactly. So like I did the same thing. I got back and I literally just sat here. It seems like I did nothing, but I really didn't. I read scripture even more, got engrossed into it. Next thing you know, it's 11:20 and I'm ready to go to mass at noon for Ash Wednesday. And then I did that, came home, forgot all the time, started doing like a spring cleaning rearrange of my house. And next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock and it's time to get ready for this. So anytime you just forget, don't look at the clock, just forget time. It's so much, there's less stress. You get things done, or you don't get anything done.
Yep.
And even then you get something done. So, I mean, read a book,
It's even crazier than that, dude. Like, as you start thinking about clocks in a different way, you're like, GPS. Should I use GPS or should I learn the route? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Should you be on someone else's time with respect to how long it's going to take and which way you go? I don't think so. I think it's better if you look at the map and like, this is where I'm going to turn left and this is where I'm going to turn right, and then just go without the GPS, because then it's not telling you to turn.
I like it.
It's not barking at you in the car. It's like someone else is giving you orders. Why would you take orders when you're traveling freely? It's
like
a beautiful way to live, I think, without clocks.
Yeah. I like that. Speaking of the GPS, like that's what I did. Like when I went to Illinois,
I gotta get going, guys. I'll see you later.
To see Lisa and everybody. All right, Andrew. He's actually leaving. The party is ending, everybody.
Yep.
Party pooper. But yeah, when I went to go see Lisa, like when Lisa and everybody, like back last summer, I left. When I left to go home, I got straight back to the Indiana line, and then I turned off the GPS. I looked at the map, pulled over, looked at the map. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go home, take some side roads, some country roads, some state routes, stay off the interstate. You can
Yeah.
get home real quick. I mean, that way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just went and you get to explore. Like turn off time, turn off the GPS, use the map, and go explore the world.
Exactly. And you know, like it makes you have to look around instead of like look at a device. Like, it's so crazy that we spend all of our time looking at these little screens when we're out in this like big 3D awesome projection of reality that gives us so much richness. And we have this thing in here that's like flat. Like look at how dull this is compared to like all this out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's like it's hollow. It's nothing. And we make this our lives because we do things like put clocks right where we can see them all the time. What a seemingly smart but totally retarded thing to do, right? We should totally take away the amount of dominance, especially like even if you don't take the timer off, at least turn off the global sync, because right now there's a cesium atom blinking in Colorado that totally loses connection to your local space when you try to sync to it clockwise. If your clock is always changing around what's happening 100,000 miles away from you or 10,000 miles away, or even 1,000 miles away from you, you're getting somebody else's relative time. It's importing it into that place. You're getting their gravity, not yours, right? Like, why would you want somebody else's gravity?
Welcome to Wacky Truth Wednesdays, everybody.
Anyway.
With Satoshi, Sean, and Greg. So
unconventional ideas. There's this old saying, I remember who said it. It's like, you challenge. It takes courage to challenge the known or the unknown, but it takes even more to challenge the known.
Fantastic. So shut off the clock, shut off all the bullshit, everybody,
Right.
and just
and this screen too.
learn to live. Turn off X. I'm actually, I love it. I took X off of my phone about a month ago. I don't get on it. Yeah, I don't get on it unless I'm at the computer, and that's usually when I'm streaming over it on the X. So, and it's wonderful. You
You look healthier, man.
Keywords.
It looks like you literally got some life back in you. I mean, like, not that you didn't look healthy before, but like, you have like more smile lines this week than usual.
Well,
I consider that to be a compliment, by the way.
I'm getting.
So that was meant to be.
Yeah, I'm also getting back to myself too, and my outside in my real life. So everything's starting to piece together, starting to realize that certain struggles like are meant to be. You're meant to struggle because struggle is how you learn. So when you fail, you're going to succeed. And so there's other things in my own life that has kind of put me flat on my face, and I'm just letting it ride out. So
yeah, dude, it's that reflex you need to get up, isn't it?
Exactly. Otherwise, what do you have? Depression.
Dude,
anxiety.
Nobody who goes their entire life without failing has demonstrated any strength.
Exactly. That includes Ludwig von Mises.
Yep. Oh, some of his best ideas were the ones he failed on. And heck, you might not even really be sure if they're failures yet, but the fact that he admitted to failure when he saw it, that's integrity. So even if you don't really fail and you just think you might have, admitting it to yourself and everyone else around you is a powerful move to say, like, look, I don't think of myself as God. I think of myself as a person, a human, a man or a woman, or whatever whatever your context calls for, I guess. I just think that people could be less afraid of being wrong, and the world would be a lot better.
Amen to that. So, and we'll leave off on that. So,
cool.
Say goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye, Greg.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And remember to like and subscribe both Satoshi Sean's channel if you haven't already, and the Legacy Right. And ring the bell. Ring the bell for both of us, so you can get that in sync.
Yep, and throw your questions and stuff into the comments or wherever. Like, we're on Substack, we're all over the place. Like, basically, if you type in Legacy Right and you get something, that's probably us. Unless it looks like something that's not us, in which case keep looking elsewhere. But you can see how we describe ourselves. Just Google anything. At Design Heretic is where you can find me just about anywhere except for X these days, which I stay largely off of.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, everybody, peace out. And enjoy the outro.
Parsley, thyme, fennel seeds, spicy red pepper flakes, and garlic. Then I stuff it with
A lot of MCs out there. They be rapping like white people. I don't play that shit. I rap like a black dude. Hey, by the way, where are my bitches? Oh, come on. I specially asked for at least 4 bitches today. Did you not get that message, huh? Me and black dudes, we've been through some shit, son. Start every song with, y'all ain't ready for this one. Rap about bitches, rap about money. And the DJ laughs like I said something funny. Chain around my neck, gun by my side. How about grills? Oh, like 2005? I talk shit, I lay the smack down. Got my DJ yelling out his name in the background. I'm so smooth like fucking silk. And you know I always keep it real hood like the milk. Around my waist, I carry my Glock. I rap like I'm black and I got a big cock. I make bitches moan all night long. Record the moans, then I put them in my song. Try to call me white, you must be smoking crack, dude. Check your facts, I'm rapping like a black dude. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Try to call me white, that's really, really whack, dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I'm so legit cause I'm rapping like a black dude. Me and my dogs, we hit up the fun spot. Oh shit, those were gunshots. Shout out some rappers, then I diss one. Yell to the producers, you're crazy for this one. And sound effects, lots of sound effects. Every day, I go around town for sex. I'm a lady charmer with baby mamas. Don't return your call unless your name's Rihanna. Smoke blunts like a job, it practically is. Cause black guy rapping's my fucking biz. Shout outs are cool, ain't nothing wrong. Except the fact that they take up half the damn song. Shout out to Diddy, free my boy Wiggy. Big ups to Pac, we miss you, Biggie. Well, yeah, I like shout outs to all my G's. But the only black dude worth that is me. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Try to call me white, that's really, really whack, dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I be rapping like a black dude. Rapping like a black dude, rapping like a black dude. I'm so legit cause I'm rapping like a black dude. You gotta understand, when you're with me, it's the real hood. Not that fake Macklemore shit. Come on, we're out of here. Make sure those 4 bitches are here when I come back. So keep that door unlocked. I'm probably gonna stop back again if the hoes are here. Fuck.